talking about video games. Yeah! Hello, everyone listening on the internet or whatever device plays sound that you are listening on. This is the Namek vs. Saiyan podcast. I am Patrick Shanley, editor with The Hollywood Reporter. Joining me, as always, is my friend and co-host Edmund Arnold. Edmund, how are you doing?
I'm alive, so I guess that's good.
Well, I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, I guess.
Yeah, life is cool, I guess. Is it overrated? I don't know. Yeah, I'm good. Everything's cool.
Are you okay? Should I call someone?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh. It's gloomy over here. I haven't seen the sun in a couple of days, and whenever the Bay Area gets like this, I just get really gloomy.
Let me ask you something about San Francisco. In the summertime, okay, so LA's weird, right? Our summer doesn't start until like halfway through July. What's it like? Mm-hmm. When is summer in San Francisco?
Well, LA's a devil town.
That's true.
Summer, I don't know. I've been out here for 3 years now. It's weird because it starts late August. That's when it gets really hot. And then it's usually hot in September around this area, and then it gets cold. But it was a cool summer this summer.
Do you have air conditioning?
No.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
I need it here. Good Lord, I'm dying.
That's because you're in the devil town. You're with all those heathens and all those sinners.
You're listening to air conditioning talk. Oh, man, this is good. We're already in a contentious mood because there was some news this week that I know that we're going to argue about. And that was news from Microsoft that they are teasing fundamental change to their Xbox achievements, right on the cusp of the release of the Xbox One X. What are your thoughts about this?
I think it's a good move because I think it sounds like they are going to, according to Mike Ibarra, Xbox platform VP, and interview he did with a podcast, Windows Central. He said they're working on a bigger, more meaningful change that somebody's gaming accomplishments in history of the game around Xbox, so they can reflect more and let people show their gaming history as their status. So it sounds like if you're playing one game for longer periods of time, you're going to be rewarded for playing that one game, as opposed to playing multiple games over long periods of time, where usually those people playing more games would have a higher gamer score than those that are playing just that one game. So I think in a way it is good for those that are like playing certain games professionally. They can keep up if they're playing competitively against their friend next to them. They can keep up the gamer scores.
See,
some people take it very seriously.
Yeah, and I don't mind that you don't have to play tons of games to get your gamer score up. My problem lies in the fact that you said rewarded. What is the reward that you're getting? A number next to your username?
Yes, and that's a huge reward.
Well, what does that mean? What do I get with it?
It means that I have accomplished more than the other people on my friends list or the other people that I come in contact with.
But that doesn't translate into anything like real and tangible, though, right? Like, I'm not getting discounts on Xbox games because I have a higher gamer score.
Well, it depends on how you would view pride, right? In terms, some people view pride as very important in video games, and I think that's the only reward you really get is the sense of pride of completing something, the sense of pride of being better than someone at something.
So this is just a pride award. It's just like, look at what I did.
Pride, sense of accomplishment. Look at my history. Look at all the games that I played. Look at what I've completed in all these games that I've played. It's something that you should take pride in.
All right, fair enough. I mean,
money and time, and it takes a lot of time. A lot of people chase after trophies in PlayStation games. A lot of people chase after achievements in Xbox games, so they can have a higher gamer score.
Yeah, and people do it in insane ways. Be like, oh, did you collect all the blue rubies from Mountain XYZ in this game?
The conversation is never like that, but yeah, it's similar.
That's exactly what the conversation is like. I've heard gamers talk before. Oh, you got all the blue rubies?
No, but it's a sense of like, oh, I was able to get this gold trophy that only 20% of people that have bought this game have been able to accomplish.
But are you even looking at that when you're playing with somebody? Are you pulling up somebody's gamer tag when you're playing with them online to see what gamer score they have?
Some people are.
Are you doing that?
I'm not, but it's more of a competitive thing for me and my group of friends.
So just in your group of friends, you have to have like the highest gamer score, like among like your clique.
Yeah, it's not like something that we just like rag on each other for, but it's something that is just like, haha, you suck, get good, fool. And it's something that we talk about sometimes, and it's something that we rag on each other sometimes, but it's nothing serious. It's not like anyone's going to kill themselves over a gamer score. It's fun. It's another fun way of being able to compare yourself to the people that you game with.
Okay, like, I get that. I just feel like if it warranted even having, like, an announcement that there should be some takeaway other than just be... Like, it's tantamount to them saying, like, we're going to have green controllers. Like, which I guess would be a headline, kind of, but I mean, like...
Green controllers are a big deal.
They would be, yeah, sorry.
That's a big deal. But I'm sorry for interrupting your point.
Sorry, I got so angry about the color green. Well, I just don't understand why anyone would care enough to spend hours trying to get some obscure trophy that 90% of the people that you play games with are not even going to notice that you got.
It depends on if you like the game. So if you really love a game and you really want to put hours into it, then you're going to try to platinum that game, or you're trying to get, collect every achievement of that game. Especially those multiplayer type games, especially those, and it's a way of challenging yourself. If you like to be challenged in video games, there's no better way than trying to achieve every trophy or achieve every achievement in different various forms of whatever type of challenge they're presenting towards you.
Have you ever done a challenge that was not enjoyable at all for you, but you just did it just to get the trophy that comes with it?
It's the same as playing a game that's not enjoyable to try to beat it.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Batman Arkham Knight was the worst. That ending of that game was the worst. I had the worst time trying to play it, and I just wanted to see the ending, which was a decent ending. But that's an example of a game that I brutally did not like. Hated every minute of controlling that Batmobile, but I just wanted to see the ending. So that's not an exact example of what you're saying.
Right.
But if I don't want to get the achievement, if it's too hard, I'm not going to try to get it. Some people will try to get it, but for me, I give up easily. I give up on everything. That's my motto. If it's too hard, give up.
Put it on a poster. We'll sell it on our website. Give up on everything, kids.
I've given up on everything that has been hard to me.
It's
relationships, sports, like school, everything that was hard to me, I'd give up.
You know that cat poster where he's like, hang in there?
Yeah, I'm the other one. I'm just like, just quit. Enjoy your life while you can. It doesn't matter anyway. We're just here to die.
It's just a cat surrounded by little airplane bottles of tequila passed out in a cat bed.
Let's do it.
Screw it.
Let's do it.
I'd wear that t-shirt.
Yeah, I would too. I'd buy it today.
It sounds like a fundamental difference between us. So here's an analogy. A lot of people will finish a book. I know you don't read, but a lot of people will finish a book.
Readings for felons and kindergartners. We keep going.
And kindergartner felons.
Those are the worst, man.
They're in serious timeout.
I worked with them, man. They're horrible.
But people will finish a bad book just to say that they finished it. I won't do that. I've walked out of movies before. I probably shouldn't say that because sometimes I have to see movies for my job. But I'll walk out of a movie if it stinks.
Mm-hmm. That's not good on you.
Is it? So this is what my thing is, because a lot of people will respond to it like that. Be like, well, you deserve to give it the time. I paid to see it. If I paid, and I paid for a game, and it stinks, then I'm going to be upset, and I'm not going to force myself to do it. Because it's supposed to be entertainment to me. But if you have a fundamental difference in the way you're approaching it, I can understand it. I just don't feel that way. And that's how it feels with these achievements to me. Why would I force myself to get 800 headshots in a row in Halo just to get some trophy to impress some wahoo in Iowa?
Yeah, it's not even to impress some wahoo in Iowa. Well, yeah, some wahoo might be impressed in Iowa. I would be impressed if you got 800 headshots in a row in Halo. But it's like I said, it's a sense of accomplishment. And you don't get an award for beating video games. You don't get $100 paycheck in the mail. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So you have to take what they give. And this is a very fair way of being able to compare your achievements to other people that buy the same games that you do. So for example, some video games just give you achievements for completing certain aspects of a game. If you just want to see how many games a person have beat, you can go through their achievements and see that. So that's interesting to me, more so than what a person's achieved in a game is how far have you gotten in the many games that you bought? Are you just the type of person that plays like 10 hours into a game, gets bored and quits it, or are you the type of person that completes every video game? That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm definitely the former in that situation. But
so and then like I said, if you really like games, I like to compare, for example, like Star Wars or like for example. Splatoon didn't have any achievements in it. It kills me because I'm putting a lot of hours into Splatoon. I would like to compare myself to see how I'm doing compared to like my friends and how other people are doing in Splatoon. So that's a good example of like a game that I wish they had achievements in.
Yeah,
Nintendo, I wish I had more achievements of.
I appreciate that, actually. That makes more sense to me. If you are sinking that much time into it and you have nothing to show for it... Look, I think a lot of it comes from... I play a lot of old video games, and those obviously didn't have this. I mean, this has been around for 10 years, apparently. Achievements were first introduced more than 10 years ago with Xbox 360. And this is the first time they've really overhauled them or done any change to them. I'm just wondering how many people care. You know,
I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people would care. Just according to this article, it's not clear what Microsoft will introduce for Xbox Live achievements, but the company has a number of different ways it could better reflect gamer progress and history. I think if you have a lot of people like myself have been playing Xbox for a good part of their lives, so I think if they find a way to better represent all the games that I've played in my history, so that it could better reflect my gamer score, or it could better reflect the people that just play multiplayer games, so that their gamer score could better reflect the achievement that they've done. They can compare it to someone like me who just buys every game that comes out. I think a lot of people will appreciate that, myself included. Look, we like little things. I want to be able to change my PlayStation Network name. That's such a small thing. We've never been able to get that. These are the small type of things that we really look forward to, and a lot of things that change our attitudes towards these services that we pay for.
So Gamerscores, it's too little, too late.
I love Gamerscore, but it's whatever. All my friends are on PlayStation, and that's a big reason why I migrated to PlayStation, because I want to see their trophies. I want to see what their level is at, and if no one's at Xbox, if no one's on my Xbox, who am I comparing myself with? Why am I going to put these hours into these games and I don't have anything to show for it? Basically, like you said.
It all goes back. I don't know. I just keep bringing it back to competitive gaming so often, but it's just another point of it. It's a social thing now, video games, and
yeah, they are.
Yeah, and this is just another level of that sociality with it. But being social also breeds competition if it's something that you guys are playing. I mean, like any game, by the very nature of the game itself, has to have competition to it.
Yeah, and it's healthy competition.
Yeah,
it's
I'm not saying in a bad way.
Where I'm like staying up all night to try to get more trophies than my roommate to say, "Hey, ha ha ha." It's this thing that's like, oh, you bought this, you went this far in this game, I couldn't get that far in this game sucked. What about it compelled you to get that far in it when I only quit on 5 hours? He's explaining it to me, he convinces me, oh, maybe I should have put more time into it, maybe I would enjoy it.
But when they say that, they are saying, nah.
In the back of their head, they're like, you suck. You dirty quitter. Yeah. But Microsoft has not revealed any changes yet, but the company is, they're currently testing a beta for Xbox One, so we'll see. And it hasn't been revealed yet, so people will still be angry about it. So until then, I'll sit on my high horse and look down at all you peons and just wait for the announcement.
Snooty.
In my gamer elitist academy that I've started that only I am allowed in.
Speaking of gaming elitists, I'm not sure if you saw the other news. Oh my god, this is just so crazy. How did we get to this point so fast? There might be gaming in the 2024 Olympics. I'll say that again, just because I feel like people have been like, oh, I don't know if I heard that correctly. There might be gaming in the 2024 Olympics. Shush. Show some respect.
I'm kneeling right now.
Are you doing the Jesse Owens hand in the air?
No, I'm kneeling. Kaepernick kneeling with my afro.
Oh, I got it.
Everyone's going to boycott this podcast. We're going to have 0 viewers next week. Like, how dare he?
There goes our NFL partnership.
Mm-hmm. Just disrespectful to the Olympics. Just disrespectful.
Is it disrespectful just to have gaming considered for the Olympics?
It's a global event. Everyone can play it.
Yeah.
Everyone could... not the third world countries, because I don't know how they're going to be able to afford rigs, but those high power, rich power nations like China, Korea, United States, Canada,
Sweden,
they'll all have teams.
It is just so bizarre to me to think of that happening, that you would cut from like diving or like hurdles to
baseball.
A bunch of guys playing Overwatch. Do you remember they tried to take wrestling out of the Olympics and people lost their minds? Wrestling has been in the Olympics since the Olympics began in ancient Greece. And now they're like, right. Yeah, let's throw in video games.
They should put WWE wrestling in the Olympics, but
maybe you can play it on the game, yeah.
Maybe that's the eSport event. They'll play WWE 2K17.
They should just play video game versions of all the other Olympic sports.
What games are they playing?
Well, nobody knows yet. This is all like preliminary talks. But they haven't picked what game they would play. Would it only be one game? Isn't that another question to ask?
Yeah, you have to only play one game. And I don't understand what game would be deemed worthy to grace the halls of the Olympics.
Could you imagine?
It wouldn't be Overwatch.
Probably, but I would imagine so, especially if this league takes off. But the amount of money you would generate if you were the developer of that game just by something like this, it's insane. You can now make games, and then 5 years out from when the game was released, it has a brand new life and explodes again.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I'm trying to figure out what old games you could bring, like a Smash Brothers or it would have to be like a Dota 2, right? It'd have to be one of those games.
Like League of Legends or something like that.
Like a StarCraft 2.
I guess it's like, what are you going for? This is what's weird about it. We don't even have one. There's not one swimming event. There's not one running event. There's not one track and field event. And video games have tons and tons of different types of video games. And how do you make this decision?
I didn't think about that. You just answered that question that we were mulling over. So it could have a fighting competition where they'd have like Street Fighter, have like a team group competition where you'd have like Dota teams against each other. You'd maybe have it'd be similar to, not track, but like diving in a way. Like your teams, your groups, your duels, your doubles.
Why?
It could work. I just don't. It's interesting.
It's interesting for sure. It's just why does this have to be in the Olympics,
Money.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
money.
Exactly what it is. And I think people are trying to say, oh, no, it's because it's given it the respect that it deserves and hasn't gotten for a long time. No, it's not. It's to capitalize on a younger market. That's what they're trying to do.
Young people. And young people would rather watch people play video games than watch people pole vault.
Yeah, okay. So, what are the ratings for inter-Olympics swimming? Nobody's watching Michael Phelps on the years that they're on Olympics.
I think swimming and track are the highest rated, and gymnastics, right?
Probably. So. Definitely during the Olympics, and maybe, compared to shot put or something, probably during the off years. But it's not baseball, and it's not basketball, and it's not football.
Yeah, but those aren't Olympic sports. So in terms of what they're gonna, baseball is, and baseball wasn't bringing in any revenue because I don't know. I don't understand why they took out baseball, but it's a way to bring in younger audience. It's a way to bring in a broader audience because you're going to get a lot of younger people from different countries are going to get into it. Apparently, eSports is really big in different countries. That's not this country, so I don't know. It's probably going to blow up, and it's a good gateway, I guess. What is a better way to expose the sport to millions of people rather than the Olympics? Because that's when I'm watching sports that I would never care about. Is during the Olympics. I'm never going to watch karate.
I'm a huge karate guy. Everybody knows that about me.
Karate's awesome to watch during the Olympics. It's on. If karate or whatever, what is it called? Judo? Whatever it's called. I don't know. It's one of those late night that gets no respect. So I could see it. They have shot put. They show shot put. They show archery.
Yeah, but we don't have competitive eating and we don't have dominoes. So why are we adding gaming?
They're adding skateboarding.
Skateboarding's a sport.
No, it's not. Skateboarding's a hobby.
Sure. All right, but at least it's an athletic hobby.
It's the same as gaming. It's a hobby. It's hard. I'm not saying that anybody can pick up a skateboard and do it.
Well, I'm not saying that about...
can pick up a Dota 2 and dominate in the way that these dudes are dominating.
No, they can't, but it's not an athletic endeavor. You're not an athlete.
Mental athlete.
Fine, but so then let's make poker an Olympic sport.
No, that's gambling. No, that's different. You have to bring up a better comparison.
Connect 4. Everybody loves Connect 4. Throw it in there.
That's a good one. Like chess. Chess should be an Olympic
Chess,
sport.
that's an actual example. I was giving joke examples.
Chess should be an Olympic sport, in my opinion.
Yeah, why not? I mean, if competitive gaming is an Olympic sport, then chess is an Olympic sport. And by the way, chess players are now athletes.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. It's a mental athlete.
Yeah,
we need to start taking mental athletes serious.
I'm fine with taking them serious, but as long as we know that that's like the door that we have now opened. If you are going to say to me that esports are a sport, then chess is also a sport. And you can't, unless somebody has a really great argument, I don't see an argument out of that. Because, why? Because your thumbs are moving a little bit faster?
Hey, look, they added climbing, surfing, skateboarding. They added karate. I was wrong. I thought I must have been watching something else. It must have been judo. So,
What's the difference?
Maybe it's a time to start expanding. Sports it's a wild world of sports. It used to be my favorite show growing up. Sports are universal. There's all kinds of sports out there.
Yeah.
So maybe we just need to, maybe we need to start adding hobby. Maybe pretty soon, Dungeons and Dragons are going to be in the Olympics. So
I would watch that. I would watch Dungeons and Dragons if the moves that you decided to make were played out by actual other athletes from other Olympic sports, and they had to fight each other dressed up as like a Drogon or something.
I don't know how I feel about that. Actually, I walk that back.
Look, if you had like a shot putter from like Latvia and you just put like some rabbit ears on him, and then he had to smack a giant foam sword against like some high diver from China in a wizard robe, you wouldn't watch that? That'd be the greatest thing that was ever put on television.
I walk back my previous statement. I would watch that every day. I would
If
watch that every
that's-
single day of my life.
I'm getting that trending on Twitter.
I think we need to quit the podcast and just get that started.
This is my life's work.
So look, man. Good for esports. Like we talk about it every week. We might become an esports podcast, but good on them. They're making money, and people are starting to, I guess, respect them. Except for ESPN. Why not? Why not? Add chess, add esports,
Bowling.
competitive reading, add everything. Bowling,
Competitive reading. Like whoever gets through a paragraph faster. Done.
Like, who's have them write a one-page report. Get the best judges in the world.
Just made a whole bunch of kids I went to college with happy.
Why not, though? The Olympics, why not?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Not? The Olympics should include every obscure, is that a sport? Type sport out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, get cornhole.
Throw them in there. Competitive beer pong.
Ultimate. Yeah, competitive beer pong. Get ultimate. Frisbee. Get all that stuff in there.
I want to get weird with it. I want to have a side Olympics that just have all the wacky, weird Olympic sports. And then you throw in a whole bunch of like weird video games in there too. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
This isn't even that new because at the Rio Olympics, it wasn't officially sanctioned by the Olympics and they didn't give out medals. But they did have like a gaming competition that was in Rio, like outside of the Olympics.
Oh, they did?
They
did it
did.
have all these weird sports in it?
I don't know what games they played, but they did do this. So I mean, like this
interesting.
isn't brand new. It's just I feel like competitive gaming has just exploded in like this year. Like it existed for a long time, and now it just like immediately went mainstream.
Yeah. Because of Twitch, I don't understand what happened. If you're listening to the podcast, please tell us what happened, because I don't get it. I think they're also thinking about adding 3-on-3 basketball I'm looking at, so that'd be cool.
That'd be amazing.
3-on-3 basketball and esports are going to be added the same year.
Look, I'm all for it. Let's throw in a whole bunch of crazy crap in the Olympics. I don't care. The Olympics are like the most fun thing in the world because you watch a whole bunch of stuff you don't care about and start cheering for it just because somebody has a flag on their chest.
The Olympics are a crazy thing. I love them. I like international sports more than anything in the world because it makes me have pride in America more than anything else. So in other, really did this really happen news, if you were on social media this week, you probably saw the Hellblade Senua's, correct myself,
Senua's Sacrifice.
Controversy.
Senua's
Sacrifice, which was a hot and heavy game that was released this week from Ninja Theory. It's a fantasy adventure starring Senua, a character who battles mental illness as she ventures through this hellish underworld type areas. There was this big controversy because Gamer, a person who was playing this game, discovered that if you die too many times, your save file would be completely deleted. And everyone knows what happens if your save file is deleted. You have to restart the game from square one. As you know, gamers were in an uproar. People raged. People got really angry. People took to Twitter. They got on they lit their torches.
On Twitter, of all places.
Yeah, they got angry. They got in a group. They got mad. Like I said, they got their torches. They started attacking people. It was a brutal place. And it turned out that it was all just a farce.
No.
Yeah, turned out it was a farce. It turns out actually that spoilers ahead. Turn this off if you don't want to be spoiled about this game. The young lady in this game suffers from psychosis. It turns out that if you died multiple times, a message would come up on your screen that said, if you keep dying, your save file will be deleted. This is a symptom of her psychosis. So it's kind of a meta-type explanation of people dealing with psychosis.
Which is kind of...
interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's kind of like a cool decision to make as the game designers. And
Right.
yet, here we are, again, of everyone just reacting to something without looking into it at all and just being like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, and it's upsetting because I was really upset when I saw this story, not about the permadeath, but man, that was something that if I would have seen in the game without it being spoiled, as I spoil it to this podcast, that'd have been something very interesting to see. That'd have been something that I would have been really stoked to see, especially, I don't know, that would have been fantastic. That's one of those gaming moments that would have been like something I would have talked about at the end of the year as gaming moment of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it would take crazy balls to do that as a game developer, because you're alienating a huge group of people if you do that.
Yeah, and people freaked out, and there was two sides of this. There were people that were freaking out, like, I don't want to play this. I don't want to put money into a game where I have to restart it every time. And then there were the people that were like, shut up. You're a wuss. Shut up. Get good. Shut up. No one wants to be challenged anymore. So it was just this combination of just vitriol being thrown from both sides, and it was just a nasty morning. And it happened in the morning. I woke up to this, and I was like, oh, this game is trending for good reason. You don't really see games trending, especially indie games released by Ninja Theory. I was a little amazed to see the backlash from it. And then it turned out to be nothing, a big nothing burger.
Surprise, yeah. Which seems to be the case more often than not with a lot of these things, is that if you actually read into it, it's never... I don't know, it's all just so reactionary. What's insane is that somebody would want to buy a game where you could spend 10 hours in it and then have to redo those same 10 hours. Is just bananas.
Do you like getting challenged?
Not like that.
Well, come on now. I mean,
how long is the game?
I've heard it's 12 hours. I bought it. I'm probably going to stream it. I've been freaking out because I heard that it's one of those like nightmarish type experiences, psychological, because she has voices that talk to her.
Right. It says it was
the entire game.
It says it was created in collaboration with neuroscientists and people who experience psychosis.
Yeah, it's one of those games that's like getting talked about. So yeah. I'm going to play it this weekend. I'm probably going to stream it. I've just been kind of. It's one of those games that's. You have to be in the right state of mind to play. You have to be willing to take on something really heavy. But back to your point, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, those series,
right, in
a similar vein are that challenging, and some people like to be challenged, you know. So I love Bloodborne.
Yeah,
I love you know, it's a different type of game genre
for sure. I'm asking more this way because Dark Souls is super challenging, right? And you die over and over and over again, and sometimes you'll have to do like an entire section again, but you don't have to start all the way over from the very beginning every time. You have to
redo like 30 minutes, hour segments at a time,
but not 10 hours.
Well, it's like we said, gamers are like weak now, and I'm one of those guys that complains if a game gets too hard, and a lot of developers are making things really easy for those that type of people. So when they release games like a Crash Bandicoot, people rage when they can't beat it. You know what I mean? So games have been getting easy for a long time. We're starting to see a certain challenge to them again. And this is a challenge. You have to, if permadeath makes you approach different events very strategically.
I'm gonna go
Bloodborne and Dark Souls and Demon Souls. You have to approach things very hesitant. You're not just running into everything, hacking and slashing.
Right.
You have to really think about the moves you want to make. And this is another type of game where I think everything is very deliberate. You have to really think about every move you make in this game. It opens doors for permadeath, and I think certain games like roguelikes, they introduce that permadeath type situation, but nothing to an extent where you have to play segment a whole game over. And I would like to see more things like that.
There's so many other games that if you don't want to do this game, then just don't play it. Like, I don't think that a game shouldn't exist just because it did something like that. And I mean, obviously this game isn't even doing that, but if a game were to do this in the future, it can exist, whatever, who cares? Like, let it exist. I don't have to like it. It doesn't matter. Its existence doesn't insult me.
And if it's a game that you would never be interested in buying in the first place, why do you have an opinion on it?
Perfect.
So what? Like, I saw a lot of people just like complaining about it, and I would never buy a permadeath game, but I would have liked to see those people look at a gameplay video, think about if that's a game that they would like to buy in the first place, and then I'd like to hear an opinion from them. But if this is not a type of game that you're going to buy in the first place, why are you going on Twitter or why are you going online making an opinion? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't make opinions on things I don't read. Like I said, I don't read a lot, therefore I don't make a lot of opinions. Don't make opinions on games you don't know anything about.
Right.
Is my argument here.
Don't make opinions about don't voice vitriol about something that you're ignorant on or something that you're not even really invested in to begin with. Particularly when it's something that's art, because there's 1,000, 100 other things that you could be doing. Like, this game's existence doesn't dismiss all other games in existence. You don't want to play Hellblade? Cool, go pick up Stardew Valley.
Perfect. And this is a game where, look, we have to, I think we should have talk about this. This is a very big topic. Games are getting to the point where they're becoming more like experiences. Right. So there's certain games where you're just sitting back and you put button prompting. There's certain games where there's still a game behind it, but they're exposing you to some heavy-handed stuff. This mental illness is heavy-handed, and it has never been accurately portrayed. It doesn't get accurately portrayed across any medium, television, video games, movies. You never really see mental illness get accurately portrayed. It's always like offensive. It's always stereotypical, and it sounds like this game got it. And for them to actually take the time to get neuroscientists, to get people that study this, to get people that suffer from these type of symptoms behind this is fantastic, and it's something that should be appreciated. And if it's something that you're going to complain over a certain mechanic that you don't even know about, you didn't even take the time to research, and you're taking, you may take people away from even wanting to partake in that experience. That's something that's, I don't know, it's unforgivable to me.
Yeah, again, it's just stop being so angry about things that you don't even really care about.
It's just chill. Like, just don't spend money on it. Ignore it.
Yeah, move on. If you really don't care about it, then stop spending so much time talking about it.
Yeah, if it doesn't make money, it won't come back. Here's an example. Bad example. Tales of the Borderland. I saw they had a report on it that they're not going to make a second season. Tales of the Borderland was my favorite Telltale game. There's a reason why Tales of the Borderland didn't sell well, is because people were burnt out of Telltale games. So that's an example. You don't buy something, you're not going to get another one. So just don't support something you're sick of.
Right. And stop giving it free press if you really feel that way about it. Yeah,
that's it. So now we're going to have to deal with 5 seasons of Batman instead of new Telltale properties because they're not selling well anymore. So it's the same reason. If you don't like games that deal with heavy-handed, if you don't like games that give you crazy hard mechanics, if you don't like games that deal with heavy-handed issues, don't buy it. They won't make them anymore.
Problem solved.
We'll keep getting Call of Duties.
I like Call of Duty.
Yeah, I do too. But I didn't mean to bash Call of Duty, but Call of Duty is a brainless game that doesn't really take a lot of thinking.
Yeah,
These
that's
games,
fine.
Put you in challenging situations.
Yeah.
This game, I believe Tacoma, that just came out, games like Gone Home, these heavy-handed, and I don't even like Gone Home, but these heavy-handed games that cause you to take a step back and really man, that was more than a video game. That was an experience.
And I think there's room with that. There's room for that right next to Call of Duty. Why not have both? And we do have both. If you don't want it, don't buy it.
No, there's no room for it in Call of Duty. This is a whole lot different.
No. I'm not saying in Call of Duty. I'm saying that both of these things can exist.
Oh, I got you. Yes, and they both need to exist.
Yeah.
Like rap. We need our Kendrick Lamars and we need our Young Thugs. It's just you need a balance of everything, right?
Not every movie has to be Citizen Kane.
Balance, people. We need balance. That's the key to everything is balance.
If the Jedis have taught us one thing, it's that we need balance.
Oh, apparently Luke isn't about balance anymore in the new ones. So
yeah, who knows? All right, let's return to a segment that we haven't done in a couple weeks that we don't really have a name for because we stole it from a television show. But this is what grinds our gears. Hey, knock it off.
Stop that.
Just get out of here with that.
Don't do it anymore.
What are you doing over there? Stop that.
Yeah.
Hey, knock it off, you jerk.
I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
That's all I'm saying. If you could please just don't.
That's the name of the segment. It's not Don't Grind Our Gears. The name that we just said is the name of the segment.
We remember it. It's written down, but it's up to you to repeat it.
Somewhere.
All right, well, here's the thing that is driving us nuts this week. Nintendo's getting sued, and they're getting sued over the design of their detachable Switch console controllers by a game company that we've all heard of. This classic game company, Game Vice.
Don't knock them.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Maybe it's not fair of me to just bash on Game Vice.
They already got their ideas stolen by Nintendo. We don't need them. We don't need Patrick Shanley to knock them too.
Using my power of having a podcast, I'm just going to slander Game Vice into the ground. I'm not going to do that. I'm joking.
Yeah,
so Game Vice is suing Nintendo Nintendo's controllers for their Switch, the clickable, portable Joy-Cons that they have, was a design that GameVice is saying that they designed in 2008 under the instruction of Oculus VR's CEO, Brandon Iribe. And this is something that they said they had a patent for. I'm looking at a picture of their design right now. They do look very similar. But these controllers are more like an add-on to an iPad for like mobile gaming. So it's, I don't want to compare it to Mad Catz, but you're sort of selling a periphery, not a console. I wonder if that plays into it legally, because you're suing. I understand that you're suing over the controller design, but the controller is part of a system, and it's also integrated into the system, and I really don't know how your intellectual property, how you could own this idea, seems bizarre.
Yeah, I guess that's my big thing. You patent the controllers. What you patent is an attachment to a phone, but you're asking for a C-cell across all Nintendo Switches, which is I don't get it, man.
How are you going to C-cell something that sold 4.7 million units?
So, in a vein, does that also mean that Apple could sue Nintendo for coming up with a tablet device?
They have a portable screen. Yeah, I don't understand.
Does anyone have a patent on the tablet device?
I'm sure somebody does, but I mean, this is what I'm saying. It's not. I can understand the similarities. There are similarities, but you didn't create something that didn't already kind of exist and that the industry wasn't already kind of going in anyway. You know? Nintendo in 2008 already had the Wii. They already had mobile controllers. They didn't click onto a screen, but that's not some crazy idea that like only you had, GameVice. Is there something about the clickability that goes into it that's the thing that's patented? If it was something like that, like a Velcro type thing, you know, like something that you invented that was not in existence beforehand, that would make sense to me. But this is just it's a controller. It's a controller, man. You came up with this 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago. You didn't profit on it in that time. How are you owed damages at this point? Like, you had your time. Why didn't it work before this? Like, why now are you suing them? You're trying to get a quick payday. Stop suing everybody.
Yeah, and I don't think are they asking for damages, or are they just asking for the Nintendo Switch to stop selling because they're infringing on their sales?
It doesn't make any sense. How is this hurting your product? You don't even have... The only thing that would hurt is the sales of, like, an iPad. You're not making the game. You just made a controller that snaps onto it.
Well, listen, I was actually thinking about buying a brand new iPad and one of these handy-crafty, whatever these things are called. What is this thing called? This controller from GameVice, so I could play my old Capcom games on. So yes, I would much rather buy a new iPad than one of these stupid little controllers that I can attach to my iPad and play Sonic.
Yeah, it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it makes no sense. If anyone should be suing anybody, it should be Apple.
Yeah, it should be. That's why who has a patent of the tablet? And I don't even think they ripped your design, because this looks like something that Nintendo would have came up with anyway.
Nintendo's design is pretty... the derivative has a negative connotation, but it's like pretty much in line with their last two systems. Like, this was a basic evolution to where we are at the Switch right now.
We'll see if they have a case. We'll see. It sounds like it's catching weight. So this was just announced like 2 days ago. So we'll.
Dude, good luck taking on Nintendo too.
Yeah, the Disney of video game companies.
Yeah, they literally. That's exactly what they are.
Are you playing anything new? What are you playing this week?
I've still been playing Stardew Valley. I'm just like deep in Stardew Valley.
I'm telling you, it's like a dark hole.
It's amazing. I love it so much.
Yeah. Anything new? Have you cleared out your farm yet?
No. I'm just getting into fall.
Okay, you just starting your new season.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been fun. What are you playing this week, Eddie?
I haven't really done a lot because just like stuff at work has been crazy. But I'm probably gonna play some. I don't know why I can't ever remember the name of this game. Some Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Yeah.
I did buy that like Tuesday. I just haven't. I told you it's a heavy thing for me to get into. Yeah. So I'll probably play some of that. Rise or Pyre, not Rise, Pyre. Nice. Still getting my way through Pyre. I play like a ride a night. So I finally lost my favorite character. So not in a bad way. It's a good way.
Nice.
They ascend. They ascend the greatness.
We are streaming more and more on Twitch. I'm going to be on maybe later today, which won't be helpful to anyone listening to this because this will be in the past. Hello, future everybody. But yeah, look for us on Twitch, Name It First Saying. Find us on Twitter, find us on Facebook, send us an email, drop us a comment. We are still giving away a free backpack to anyone who answers this question.
This popular phrase is from a popular franchise which debuted its first game back in 2008. This phrase right here changed everything you thought about this game with a major plot twist and is somewhat of a spoiler, so I apologize. We want to know what game this phrase is from. And this phrase is simply, would you kindly? Again, this phrase is, would you kindly? And we simply want you to leave a comment. First person to comment, send us an email of what game this is from, wins a free Rick and Morty backpack.
What a deal. The game is afoot. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Please comment, link, share, blah, 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 internet stuff. We love you, and thank you very much for listening.
About video
Yes, love you.
Yeah.
Okay.